everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. Now today, started off sunny, it got hot, and now thunderstorms are rolling through the high desert. We have some big changes, including gusty winds and a whole lot of drying on the way. So let's take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Look at how these changes have been impacting us today, what's to come, and how those changes are really going to show for Central Oregon, especially through the rest of this week and this weekend. I think you're going to like some of the changes, but you might not like others. So let's dive in. Right now across the Tri-County area, we do have a mixture of sunshine and clouds. It started off sunny, but these clouds developed. Now thunderstorms are rolling through, and you can see some of those thunderstorms in a couple of these cameras, such as the Grizzly Mountain camera, the Pine Mountain camera. If you look at the Bend camera, bottom center, all the way on the right, that thunderstorm is just south of La Pine. Now, let's just look at lightning strikes across Central Oregon, in and around Central Oregon, I should say. Now, we have seen a total of 700 plus lightning strikes so far, and looking at the entire state, it's even more, double that almost, 1,300 plus lightning strikes. A little bit of that is out in Idaho, but nevertheless, we have more lightning on the way, and since yesterday, we've been talking about this risk of dry thunderstorm activity. That's what's happening right now. Don't get me wrong, where these thunderstorms are directly going over, there is some precipitation, but outside of that, it's light precipitation and gusty winds. These gusty winds are going to continue. Pardon me. And there is a red flag warning until 11 p.m. this evening because of the risk of abundant lightning strikes without very much precipitation at all. Now, this red flag warning is stretched across the entire Tri-County area. Again, goes until 11 p.m. Any fires that start are likely to spread rapidly, and those gusty winds, the outflow boundaries of these thunderstorms will not be helping much at all. Now, currently across Deschutes County, there are a couple of thunderstorms we're checking out and tracking. One of those clusters is just south of La Pine. Another cell is just between Sun River and Bend right now, about to move into the Deschutes River Woods area. And now over Crook County, we have some thunderstorms, one just to the northeast of Prineville and another one over the Maury Mountains. Jefferson County, not going to say you're untouched so far, but you still have a little bit more sunshine. That is going to be wrapping up. So one more look across the Tri-County area. Scattered thunderstorms are rolling through. Most of the thunderstorm activity is over eastern Oregon. South Central Oregon not even seeing much except for that cluster of cells that's just south of La Pine. So this is something we're going to be tracking through this evening and monitoring lightning strike locations for any fire starts. And with satellite and radar, when we zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture, we have this area of convection that's over central and eastern Oregon. There's a cold front well out over the Pacific Ocean. That cold front rolls through tomorrow night. However, by the time it gets here, not much in the way of precipitation is expected. So when we look at the bigger picture and focus on infrared satellite imagery, now there is an enhancement so those taller clouds are a little bit more visible, those brighter colors. We do clearly see our cold front, but it is starting to fizzle out. But let's go ahead and dive in a little bit more. Let's take a closer look at this. Over central Oregon, we have some tall cloud tops, frequent lightning strikes, and this pattern's going to continue. What we have noticed, winds have been picking up, not just around thunderstorm activity, specifically coming through the passes. So gusty winds at times through the rest of this evening, and it's still going to be gusty a little bit by tomorrow. Looking at the bigger picture, there is a broad ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean. This is going to build into the Pacific Northwest, and as it does, paving the way for tons of sunshine and a whole lot of heating, just not until we get to this weekend. So let's look at some other conditions. When it comes to our forecast model, by 7 o'clock, still some showers lingering over the high desert, thunderstorm activity mostly over eastern Oregon, and all of this fizzles out as it continues to roll to the north and the northeast, leaving us with some in and out clouds tonight. Mild temperatures are expected, and winds taper after sunset. By Wednesday, in and out covers expected, and for Wednesday, most of the thunderstorm activity is going to be over southern Oregon and eastern Oregon, not really impacting the Tri-County area, but what we will see is some afternoon clouds. By Thursday, still looking at in and out cover. This is after our weak cold front pushes through. In fact, I'm going to open up this graphic. We're going to take this even littler by littler, if that's a thing. So when we go ahead and dive into it, that afternoon convection on Wednesday is mostly going to be over eastern Oregon. Let's back out, give you a better look at that. Eastern and southern Oregon. So we're going to be in the clear, but then we're turning our attention to this front that by Wednesday at 3 p.m. is already starting to make landfall. As that rolls through, it brings us some cloud cover overnight, but we stay dry. The mountains absorb what little moisture there is, and by Thursday evening, we're back to sunshine. So when it comes to relative humidity values, we're kind of split. Where we've been getting rain and thunderstorm activity, higher relative humidity values. Outside of that, still in the teens. It is extremely dry. So as showers start to come over your area, we are expecting a little bit of virga, that rain evaporating before it hits the surface until we get a little bit of saturation in the column, which means until it rains a little bit, you're not going to see much of that at the ground. You might just get some sprinkles outside of thunderstorm activity. Now, in the last 24 hours, we've topped out in the mid to upper 90s with 102 in Warm Springs. Right now, it's still 101 in Warm Springs. We have 90s where we have stayed dry, mid 90s, upper 90s still, but the cooler areas is where thunderstorm activity has already been rolling through. So right now we're ranging between 4 degrees warmer and 12 degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. For most of the day, though, we were running 2 to 8 degrees warmer than this time yesterday until those thunderstorms started up. That's what really started to change things. So here through the rest of this evening, temperatures fall gradually for some. For others, you're going to be looking at some rain cooling action going on. You've already started to see that, and temperatures are going to drop a lot faster after showers and thunderstorms roll through, but we're all going to be bottoming out in the 50s with a few 40s. By tomorrow, we do not warm as much. Highs will be in the 80s, but more direct sunshine is expected, so we're cranking that UV intensity forecast back up to a 10, staying in the very high range through the next several days, especially Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I would not be surprised if some locations actually get up into the purple or extreme UV intensity. But remember, sunglasses and hat, your best friend. If you have sensitive skin, wear that UPF as well as the SPF, but you'll definitely want some of the protective clothing. When in doubt, seek the shade. That goes for hot temperatures as well, but always stay hydrated. Stay very hydrated through the next several days. And if you're spending a lot of time outside, use sunscreen. Reapply that sunscreen every 2 hours. Now, when we look at a different forecast model, this is what we refer to as geopotential heights. It's the thickness of the atmosphere going up to about 500 millibars, so halfway up. And it's showing that there is going to be a little bit of a trough digging through the high desert Wednesday and Wednesday night. That's what brings the additional cloud cover overnight. That's also what triggers another dip in temperatures by the time we get to Thursday. So Wednesday, 80s with a few 90s. Thursday, mostly 80s. In fact, lower to mid 80s. Then by Friday, another high pressure starts to build in. Temperatures begin to climb. Sunshine is expected, and we dry out quickly, and highs will be in the 80s with a few 90s. So roller coaster temperatures are expected. After Wednesday and Thursday, the sky opens up. We get tons of sunshine with very little cloud cover through the rest of the 7-day planner. That's painting the picture of a whole lot of heating across the high desert. Now, a quick look at our forecast model. This is the traditional one I use on air. It shows that through tonight, showers fizzle out. We start to clear out, and then by Wednesday, increasing clouds late in the day. Most of the thunderstorm activity further off to the east. That next dry front rolls through. Thursday brings another dip in temperatures, and Friday takes us back to sunshine. Going past that forecast model, starting on Friday night, we have very little cloud cover expected. Saturday, tons of sunshine. Sunday, tons of sunshine. Almost not a cloud in the sky, really at all through the weekend and into next week. By Sunday, by Sunday, yeah, there will be some light clouds, but that's about it. Going through the rest of the 7-day planner, we are just heating up. Now, future precipitation doesn't look like much, but there are still some thunderstorms rolling through, so that's going to be after the thunderstorm activity wraps up. In the last hour or so, gusts have gotten to 20 to 30 miles per hour. Actual winds are 5 to 15, some of us 10 to 20, and here through the next few hours, it's going to be gusty at times. The winds trend observed in forecast graphic doesn't show that. It's mostly going to be centered around thunderstorm activity. By tomorrow, we have stronger winds, so if any fires start due to lightning strikes, by tomorrow afternoon, if they're not completely snuffed out, they could be gaining a little bit momentum. And then by Thursday, breezy at times, not too bad. So for tonight, 50s and a few 40s, in and out cover. By Wednesday, tons of sunshine, some afternoon clouds, highs in the 80s with a few 90s. And here is that 7-day planner. We get our dip in temperatures, then we start to warm back up on Friday. Under this abundant sunshine, we keep a little bit of cloud cover through this weekend. Temperatures top out 10 plus degrees above average for this time of the year, and it stays unseasonably hot and very dry through the rest of the 7-day planner. So here's a quick look at your weather headlines for this Tuesday, July the 8th, Dry lightning threat this afternoon and evening. Elevated fire danger is in the forecast, but we're going back to the 80s briefly. But that's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News with the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.